The digital era has changed the way we assess an artist's popularity. 10 years ago, we relied on radio play and CD sales, but now we look at streaming numbers and monthly listeners. This spring, when YouTube Music introduced its own monthly audience metric, the results surprised even the most dedicated hip-hop fans. Doechii and Eminem topped the list with 332 million monthly audiences, followed by Dr. Dre with 271 million, Kendrick Lamar with 262 million, and Coolio with 251 million. In contrast, Drake, who claims to be the king of Spotify monthly listeners, had a surprisingly low 124 million, placing him 15th. Other artists like Meek Mill, Wiz Khalifa, Pitbull, Nicki Minaj, Travis Scott, J. Cole, XXXTentacion, Kanye West, and even Lil Tecca surpassed him on YouTube Music. This discrepancy sparked discussions on social media. If Drake has the highest monthly listeners on Spotify, why is he ranked so low on YouTube Music? Could this indicate that his Spotify numbers are artificially inflated by bots? To grasp the significance of this, it's important to understand the difference between monthly listeners on Spotify and monthly audience on YouTube Music. Spotify counts unique listeners who stream at least one song by an artist within a month, while YouTube Music's monthly audience measures the number of unique viewers who listen to an artist's music on either YouTube Music or the regular YouTube platform. In theory, these metrics should be comparable, providing a rough estimate of how many people engage with an artist's work each month. However, in reality, the platforms vary in user demographics, recommendation algorithms, and content availability. For instance, YouTube is the largest video sharing site globally, accessible in more regions, and on more devices than Spotify, which requires a dedicated app or web player and is ad-supported for non-subscribers. Welcome to Celebrity Cookies, where the tea is always hot and the stories come with sprinkles of surprise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment with your take on the story. Even considering these differences, the gap between Drake's reported 91 million monthly listeners on Spotify as of mid-2025 and his 124 million monthly audience on YouTube Music appears disproportionately large. For context, Spotify's data is publicly available. Each artist's monthly listener count is displayed on their profile and updated daily. Observers in the industry have noted that Drake consistently releases new singles, collaborates with high-profile artists, creates viral TikToks, and secures playlist placements, suggesting that his Spotify numbers should align more closely with his YouTube reach. Instead, several artists with smaller Spotify followings have outperformed him on YouTube Music, raising questions about the legitimacy of his Spotify streams. This isn't the first instance where fans have questioned the accuracy of streaming numbers. Over the years, both independent analysts and major record labels have revealed cases of stream filtering, where platforms identify and eliminate plays generated by bots. In 2020, Spotify removed hundreds of millions of questionable streams from various artists, both new and established, resulting in public apologies and revised certifications. The platform claims to use advanced detection algorithms to eliminate non-human plays, but it admits that no system is flawless. Each month, Spotify filters out fake streams before they impact an artist's chart positions or royalties, but it remains unclear which streams manage to evade detection. Drake's success on Spotify has been a key aspect of his career. His 2018 album, Scorpion, broke opening week streaming records with 1.03 billion streams on Spotify alone, and songs like One Dance have surpassed 2 billion streams. He consistently ranks at the top of Spotify's top 50 global chart and is awarded the title of most streamed artist year after year. In contrast, his performance on YouTube Music, while significant, does not reach the same level of dominance. Eminem's return with Music to be Murdered By and Doechii's hit single Crazy have received numerous plays and gone viral on social media, which accounts for their high monthly audience numbers. However, Drake's comparatively lower performance on YouTube Music raises the possibility that Spotify's high listener counts might be partially inflated by non-organic activity. Could Drake be using bots? Or is there another reason for this? Industry insiders suggest several explanations. First, Spotify's ecosystem strongly favors specific engagement patterns, user-created playlists, algorithm-driven daily mixes, and Spotify-curated playlists like Rap Caviar. Drake's team has a history of strategically placing songs on playlists, debuting singles exclusively on Spotify, encouraging fans to pre-save albums, and utilizing brand partnerships that automatically add his music to millions of users' libraries. While none of these strategies involve bots, they create an artificial surge in listens within Spotify's environment, potentially exaggerating monthly listener counts without accurately reflecting genuine individual listens. Secondly, fan behavior varies across different platforms. Younger audiences, particularly Gen Z, tend to use YouTube for casual listening, looking for music videos, lyric videos, or short clips similar to those on TikTok. In contrast, dedicated music fans might opt for Spotify Premium for uninterrupted background listening. This difference may explain why new artists like Doechii attract large audiences on YouTube, where their viral videos are featured, while Spotify is more associated with established artists and mainstream pop acts. Drake, who appeals to both audiences, might not resonate equally across these platforms. Additionally, the availability of services and licensing agreements play a significant role. Spotify is not accessible in several important markets, particularly China, where YouTube and its local alternatives have substantial viewership. Countries like Brazil, Indonesia, and parts of Eastern Europe have strong user bases for YouTube music that may not subscribe to Spotify. If Drake's popularity in these regions is lower compared to local stars or established artists like Eminem and Dr. Dre, it could affect his global monthly audience on YouTube Music. Nonetheless, the statistics are hard to overlook. When comparing month-over-month growth rates, Drake has generally lagged behind other rappers on YouTube Music. Meek Mill's recent documentary-style videos received millions of views almost instantly. Nicki Minaj's appearance in a viral challenge video boosted her channel traffic, and Kanye West's public remarks, whether they stir controversy or are groundbreaking, often lead to more repeat visits on YouTube than on music streaming platforms. In a time when short-form videos and reaction content are prevalent on YouTube, Drake's usual longer promotional style may be less effective. However, is it reasonable to jump from noticing a significant discrepancy to assuming bot usage? Streaming fraud exists, but such allegations can harm careers and reputations. Agents from prominent management firms advise against voicing suspicions without solid evidence. We've often seen that natural differences between platforms can create the appearance of manipulation, notes one label executive. Still, fans remain doubtful. On Twitter, threads labeled #DrakeBots have attracted thousands of comments, with fans comparing charts from Spotify and YouTube Music and calling for a comprehensive audit of Drake streams. Spotify remains tight-lipped about the situation. The platform emphasizes its advanced fraud detection systems and its dedication to ensuring accurate royalty payments and metrics in its public statements. However, representatives from Spotify do not comment on individual artists or specific allegations. Similarly, YouTube Music does not provide detailed information on how it calculates its monthly audience, offering only basic explanations in its help center. This lack of transparency leads to further speculation. If these platforms won't clarify their methods, how can fans trust the figures they present? Beyond the technical discussions, there is a broader conversation about what these streaming metrics truly signify. If an artist's success is measured solely by numbers, such as monthly listeners, audience reach, and chart positions, then any manipulation, even if unintentional, poses a serious threat to their credibility. For many artists, streaming numbers serve as both cultural currency and essential income. Record labels and managers negotiate lucrative branding deals based on streaming performance, while upcoming tours rely on these metrics to predict ticket sales. Awards shows also reference these figures when presenting accolades. The pressure to maintain or surpass streaming numbers is immense. Drake's team has expressed frustration over the ongoing rumors. A spokesperson for OVO, October's very own, told Billboard, Drake's success is founded on decades of innovation, collaboration, and genuine fan support. His Spotify numbers reflect real engagement, not tricks. Meanwhile, Drake has been focusing on his new singles and high-profile collaborations, steering clear of any direct comments regarding the bot controversy. If Spotify's numbers decline following a cleanup or if scrutiny increases, Drake may have to confront the issue directly. In the current hip-hop landscape, the discussion surrounding streams and authenticity is more pressing than ever. The streaming wars have democratized music consumption but have also created new challenges. Drake's status as Spotify's most streamed artist is a significant accomplishment. However, if YouTube Music's monthly audience metric provides a more balanced perspective, or if streaming fraud is more prevalent than acknowledged, it raises questions about how we define true engagement. In the end, the reality might be somewhere in the middle. Drake might not be using bots for any malicious purpose, but the curated playlists, algorithmic suggestions, and behavior specific to platforms that enhances Spotify statistics could lead to a perception of inflated numbers. The differences between Spotify and YouTube Music highlight the changing landscape of music consumption. No single metric can fully capture an artist's cultural impact. Factors like video virality, social media trends, and playlist algorithms all influence who we listen to, where and why. For Drake and his team, the gap in metrics presents both a challenge and an opportunity. They could capitalize on their dominance on Spotify, highlighting the platform's credibility and pushing for transparency from other platforms. Alternatively, they might choose to diversify by creating content specifically for YouTube, launching exclusive visual albums, or experimenting with short-form videos aimed at engaging YouTube audiences. Regardless, the broader industry is paying attention. If Spotify and YouTube Music can't agree on basic audience metrics, both artists and fans are left to navigate a fragmented environment. Ultimately, whether Drake's streams are considered real or boosted may be less significant than recognizing that no single chart or algorithm can completely reflect cultural influence. Streaming metrics are useful tools, but they represent just one perspective, albeit a significant one, on success. For fans, discussions about bots and benchmarks remind us to look deeper, appreciate authenticity, and interpret numbers with a nuanced understanding. Regarding Drake, his upcoming decisions could determine the outcome of this controversy. A sharp diss track addressing streaming fraud would undoubtedly attract attention, as he has never hesitated to highlight the hypocrisy in the industry. Alternatively, he might launch a major visual album on YouTube Music, breaking engagement records and demonstrating that his fanbase is more substantial than any individual statistic. In the hip-hop world, actions carry more weight than figures. With Drake's legacy at stake, it's hard to predict his next move. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on the story.